I'm gonna make this a very short video. Actually, I'm gonna make this really short. It goes to December the 4th, 2024 though. You can see here December the 8th. In this video I'm going to be talking about a complete lunacy I'm facing at home next to my mother, who is doing absolutely everything she possibly can for me not to have organized life. In other words, to have ability to visit father if it's raining, if it's whatever it is, by literally keeping his car inside of the garage. Just as it is in my case, she's paying for my insurance, health insurance, which is totally not accessible to me for my needs. It's just a decoration, basically, something that she says, well, we got the insurance and so on. Exactly the same thing she's doing with the car. With the car for which she's paying a double quote, a double price, a double cost for a yearly insurance. She is, in other words, paying over 250 euros. I don't know, 270 euros for a basic insurance that should cost you at least 120 or less euros per year. So she's paying a double insurance. She is dumping her money on, she had a tires changed recently, summer tires with winter tires. That's what she does. I mean, simply a stuff that I easily could do, save her dollar too, and is now doing everything she absolutely can to screw me up also in respect to the car, for which I took initiative to get it fixed by myself. I think she's paying 60 euros per year to have the oil change done on the car. As a matter of fact, father was paying for it. Lately she was paying for it. And instead of that, I came, just as you see here, this shit started on December the 4th, 2024. This garbage started with play, with warning light, dashboard warning light system, and once I checked the oil from the engine, from my criteria, the engine oil was extremely filthy. Now, this crime, let me explain to you, ladies and gentlemen, this crime was investigated thoroughly by the British. It was investigated thoroughly by Germans, and it was investigated thoroughly by French, and it was observed from the distance by Americans. The word is about a crime which, again, Milan Kucan commenced in 1996. Whenever Milan Kucan was not after me, he was after my parents. He was driving my parents insane, and so no wonder once I immigrated to the United States of America, Kucan found his way literally into the father's garage with Gregor Golobic, with Robert Golob, here, right down here below. They started to fuck my father in his head as per, why is he not changing the oil by himself? Imagine that stuff. Sick stuff, but this is the way it was. And father, sooner than not, he found himself defending himself to Kucan as per, why is he not allowing me to change him an oil? Now, at the time, I was in the United States of America, where I immigrated for the new year of 1995. I found that weird. Actually, that was even in 95, not 96. It started in 1995. So they started to fuck my father. That's, but why is he not changing the oil by himself? And he's not in that kind of profession, but I really am. And so I was replacing the oil on my own car, and they started to fuck with me. Why aren't you not changing the oil by yourself? I said, I am changing the fucking oil by myself. So they shut up and they went again to father, and they started this kind of game of lunacy with the engine oil maintenance, basic maintenance of the car in 1995, and they extended one into using his car as pleased, and not car but cars, and practicing on them, using them literally as a test tool for the products, for whatever the hell they wanted to do with it. The same thing. It was the same shit that went on. A mechanic, Mitya became a mechanic. Was not even a mechanic at the time. This Mitya, no, he was a mechanic at the time. I'm not sure. He was a mechanic, I think, already at the time. He was just about, I think, at the time that he became a mechanic, something like this. A little earlier he did became. He became, I'm not sure really. I gotta think about that stuff, but I think that he became a mechanic. I don't know. Sometimes like in 91, 92 or something like this. I don't know. Maybe even earlier. Like 93, I would say, something like this. This was, he started to change oil to my father and so on. I found this fucking bizarre that the man would have to work inside of the factory, do all this shit, and he would not have opportunity to take the fucking car to the mechanic to have the oil changed. Wow, very, very disappointing. I have to exclaim that the game then started to, Rehab's father started to buy Volkswagen Polo cars. They started to contemplate on exactly what took place just lately with what I pointed you out. Mother disallowed me to change the oil. A mechanic, Mitya again, that would be paying visits to our home, and he would be sniffing around the car, checking for the oil gouge to see the quality of the oil, and according to MK Ultra would also act insanely, suggesting the oil is okay, even if the oil was already not changed now for like a year and is going to over 1 month. Given that police was threatening me that I'm going to be responsible for absolutely everything, and that my mother claims that I broke entire house when I was here like a mouse without moving anywhere, doing absolutely anything inside of this house, yelled at just for opening the doors from my room, I would simply not take a risk about replacing despite the police claims that even if a mechanic will be saying to you that the oil is good, you're the one responsible for it. With the psychiatrist Peter Kapsch, they claimed me. Literally for this time, December and January, March, they continue like for 4 months during MK Ultra repeatedly to threaten me how the car is falling apart, you driving the car and stuff like this. This maintenance mechanic have all kinds of issues involving it, issues for which claimed how the engine oil doesn't even have to be replaced for a year and a half. On the other hand, he claimed on how there will be a time where you will have to change oil and stuff like that, and this and that. And then he came up with kind of scenarios on how he no longer will want to change the oil. It depends on what kind of oil I'm going to put inside and all kinds of stupid shit. Did not stop short of using from AliExpress example for the stickers, what kind of stickers you're gonna buy, etc., etc. So they wanted to waste more money, they wanted to cause more damage, and have even contemplated on accident, causing an accident. Basically, when you change oil, you have to have the surface where you're gonna go and replace that engine oil. The whole thing, the biggest disappointment ended, however, with the Prince Charles at the time, now King Charles, giving a total cover to Milan Kuchan, totally protecting Milan Kuchan by simply sitting inside of our kitchen, browsing next to me with a laptop. Not really. He was right across me on the other side of the table. And he would have other people demonstrating to me stuff, products from the internet, and expressed interest in maintenance of the Volkswagen Polo cars, and started to insist on how it's the kind of oil that is very actually really expensive for the Volkswagen Polo, but he could maybe even make that possible for me to get it. So in other words, he planned on squeezing my throat through completely blocking me from any kind of income. And it can be seen on a YouTube channels, it can be seen on a blogger, it can be seen on Daily Motions, it can be seen on all fucking channels that my Western partners from United States, from greater than Great Britain, Germany, France, and so on, they did about everything possible in their power to discredit me through blocking video counter views, as well as on the blogger. You can see blog too, the same thing, like I'm talking to myself basically. And so the product did not even exist yet. However, it did exist, according to my memory, in Australia through the British Commonwealth, was then delivered literally to Klaipėda, to the Lithuania, which was desperately trying to revive its industry. I was in Klaipėda in Lithuania, and it was literally through me the King Charles brokered what it became known as a Manolo oil in Lithuania. What exactly was available back then, I don't know. That's an old company, whatever it is, Lithuanian company even, etc., etc. But definitely it was a cash investment technology, and also probably a license to manufacture something similar to whatever oil, because Manol oil is a copy of the oil. I'm gonna get to that stuff, and that's supposed to be the only suitable oil equivalent to the oil known as Aral, as German oil. However, the only suitable also for Volkswagen Polo oil that I would be doing, and according to a bunch of experts, mechanics here in the Novo Mesto area, that I visited some, my god, in this shit there must have been some 100 people probably involved in this here, in this oil change, in that bloody fucking oil change. And so what angers me the most is that King Charles now contemplated on something really disgusting, but basically making possible for me, in other words, to do the oil change for a low cost, I should say, oil change, which however would somewhat equal, or maybe even completely equal, the oil change of expensive oil companies, oil brands, oil manufacturing brands that however charge maybe, just like Aral, I think they charge at least double, triple of the money that I would pay here in Slovenia. And now this stuff was also done, in my opinion, because I didn't investigate that stuff. It's about this kind of oil here, Manol oil. this kind of stuff. It's this will be like a perfect oil, supposedly. This kind of this crime wouldn't be possible if I had a regular pay, salary, and so on. Even like this, the way I'm doing this stuff, I didn't make really any mistake in respect to one by choosing French elf oil. This kind of oil. But the thing is that what the hell, this one here is more likely not a cooking oil. Okay, it clearly appears to me that I don't want to say Illuminatis, but I was also in Elf company, which I preferred Elf over manual oil. They are same cost-wise, low cost, cheapest oils on the market. Something that Slovenians went totally insane about this manual oil. This is a good Volkswagen certification, etc., etc., to such a degree that everybody inside of the city, mechanics, everybody was claiming me, this is the only oil, this is the one, the only oil, that's it, this is the one. And for this year they claim me this is for the Renault and stuff like this, French cars and that kind of stuff, not for the Volkswagen, etc., etc., etc. Not true exactly, but on the other hand, yes, true. Yes, true. I'm gonna get to this stuff. This is what I'm so disappointed about this stuff, for many reasons. Obviously, my father had to be killed for one thing, for the stuff like this to be played out. And the second thing is, what kind of game the fuck is this? That I need to compare, do some kind of completely insane stuff, choosing in between something that equals to nothing other than a waste of time under the circumstances. I definitely, surely enough, could use medical assistance more than anything in my life. To obviously entertain some elites that have full ass of absolutely everything and don't know what the fuck to do to get me killed, literally, to waste my time with it. And the way this stuff is done through extreme violence. In this clip here, I'm gonna translate you an audio from my mother so that you can understand how far did your King Charles, I'm not gonna say about the elf, about the French, because they found themselves right there, and now they too got some investments through this case. They were even contemplating on closing the company, and I was against having the company Elf closed. Man, they open and close these companies like mushrooms, boy. I was against closing it. I don't see anything in it. I think that the companies like this should just always exist. That they should be just closed and opened per convenience or whatever. I mean, it's a long tradition that Elf has. There's no need for doing that kind of stuff. And quite frankly, I'm not going to say I don't give a fuck about the Manol oil. I am pleased to have a presence of all kinds of products in the market for the people to have ability to choose whatever they are pleased. This is the idea about democracy. But, you know, sure enough, this type of approach is very, very unsuitable. This is very, very inappropriate to do stuff like this. I don't know if Charles knew that I'm going to point him out his work inside of the kitchen and how he managed to involve the entire Slovenian criminal underground against me through the products like this. He's this Slovenian disgusting filth, this mechanics and stores that would fucking kill you just to get a hold of few extra products and dollars. They fucking killed themselves by supporting Milan Kučan just so they could oil their pockets. French had absolutely nothing to do with it. They sidelined them, and they arrogantly rejected them, ridiculed them. Actually, for me to be quite frank about it, that really angers me when I think about that stuff. This is it's hard to explain. Not too long ago, in this country here, they would have Renault 4 and they would have Ladas and they would have these Zastava shit cars. Renault 4 was a shining light here, that there is a hope that exists out there for you not to drive garbage, but something fun, something different. And the same thing was a Citroën, another French company that was here that make things interesting. Germans built Volkswagen in Sarajevo, so that in Yugoslavia people have even choice of Western homemade cars, home assembled cars, I'm gonna say, when compared to the Soviet Union, or I should say just Eastern Bloc, Warsaw Pact. And for all that stuff is just, I was just shocked when I was observing about the stuff that went on. And the most I'm shocked about this stuff is that they did not abandon the project, but they started to force me one down the throat as the years passed by. King Charles provided excellent cover for Milan Kučan, for what they deem in Britain Eastern European communists, Putin-like communists, etc., etc. But the thing about it is that, in greater than Great Britain, just like in the Germany, hey, this is the funny people. They talk shit about the communists. They talk and blah 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 blah. With a little luck, there is a revolution in the country, and the communists fell down, and you have this new whatever you have coming up, surfacing up, and then they start to regress. They start to do exactly the opposite, and they start to crash the whole fucking system. To present, basically, I feel as if they use me to present me to the Kučan and to Pahor and Fajon and so on, just as, hey, look, you see, we can also help you out. You're gonna work with us in that sense, if you understand me what I'm saying. So they don't give a fuck about that. They are looking to create turmoil so they can blackmail, so they can set their own standards and extort, basically. This is this kind of democracy. The most disgusting, the most disappointing about this shit was job from Germany, Wolfsburg, fucked up enough. BMW, Mercedes, and of course Volkswagen were all involved in this case, and they all are my mentors, supporters. They just during MK Ultra, it was like, we can't wait, for you to say Volkswagen and BMW and Mercedes and so on. We are rush to help you. The reality is such that Slovenian police didn't even have to investigate this crime, for which Slovenian police also at the same time had a big problem with me changing the oil on my own. But Slovenian police got a total assistance of the Germans. This fucking car from my father literally traveled to the Wolfsburg, to the Germany, with a mechanic Mitya and with a husband from my niece, whose name is also Mitya. It's a Wolfsburg factory in Germany, where they even supposed to suggest to them, come to us and we will demonstrate you how we do the forensic on the car, how we investigate at the Volkswagen car. So they went to the Germany, and the Germans in front of me stopped short from taking car completely apart and investigate whatever. Because obviously there will be too much evidence left in the car. That's the only reason. But what they did is they definitely assisted, as I earlier suggested you, in respect to oil issues, how this mechanic knew about you can just use this oil for a year and a half if you're not making a lot of mileage, and the oil is still good and this and that. That's what they did. That's what Slovenian police did, literally. That's how they, then good luck with this kind of stuff, right? They tested the oil multiple times while coming in, and they will continue to test the oil with a different mileage, with a different usage, till they came to conclusion to exactly what degree or use would this mechanic still be like in a safe waters. Basically my claim against his claim, so he could demonstrate the world his expertise on how he knows the oil is still good. Isn't that completely fucked up? French and Germans arrived to the city of the Novo Mesto in 2009. The year was 2009, and quick and rushed in 2008, 2007, when it all started. And they started to visit local dealership where they do the service for the cars, and they started to inspect them. And one of the workers to whom they watched how he's performing the job also was Mitya, this mechanic that police prescribed to my father. I don't know how his father managed this stuff. I don't know how he managed this stuff. I don't know if I had a mechanic like this. I don't know. I think I don't know. I have no idea how that would be. He wanted to have a physical fight with me, this individual. He fought with me right here at the entrance in front of the police. It was like this, that he was pushing me around. During MK Ultra, this is what went on. So this is a total animal, basically. And father experienced a lot of problems on a totally brand new car. So all kinds of lights were coming up on the dashboard, and this kind man was just fixing them always. He always knew the answers for it, if you understand me what the fuck I'm saying. I don't know. The Wolfsburg was there that provided Volkswagen Deutschland, with the Slovenian police. They worked together. They on this issue also. They covered their ass. Police didn't have to investigate. It was a professional Volzer that did it for them. And since 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009. like 3 years at least, you would have a French and Germans coming to the Novo Mesto and observing how the local dealers do the job, etc., if how they're doing and stuff like this. So they were just trying to connect themselves to the businesses, to the police as much as possible, tie them together, giving them assistance they needed, finding anything irregular and then quickly offering them assistance. Yeah, you understand the song, and at the same time, obviously, giving them a hope in respect to my case. Isn't that wonderful? So this is disgusting. This is what went on. Today I had a really heated conversation again with my mom. This type of conversation my mom and myself had since this engine oil issue. They involved the numerous YouTubers into this stuff. Not really YouTubers, but some YouTubers participated, but mechanics that would post the videos also that would remind me of our meetings. One of these videos was British, suggesting how the oil not necessarily is white and bright, but it can also be dark and still good, etc. Of course, I totally understand that. Or through the particles that you have seen, I don't know if they were so regular. And the second thing is, I don't understand what the fuck you're saying. 1 year law basically that you replace the oil for the most of the people is acceptable. And if you're trying to teach people how they should just use the vehicle for as long as possible and play with this kind of stuff, you're gonna have to do that without me. Under this kind of circumstance, I'm being guilty of breaking an entire house. I don't think I'm gonna be the one who's gonna be also possibly blamed for destroying my father's car. How about that? I don't think I would do that. I am also on the police side. Just like a police, I also don't like taking risks, especially when they are no needed. We're not going to be taking the risks. It took a heavy toll on me to not, since the 4th of December, it was raining. I wanted to go to father, couldn't go, walk, no this, no that, crazy shit. I just don't like this kind of stuff. And as I stated, mother is throwing money away in a trash bin, literally. It's not about the money, it's about the evil, it's about the gaslighting. At the same time, she's leaving all kinds of signs, how the father is dead, how he will die at any time, how they're gonna just issue the order to get him killed, etc. It's about the gaslighting, but this gaslighting has limits. It does have a limits, boy, because this gaslighting went too far. I did pay for the oil. I ordered the oil. I ordered this kind of oil. You can see it here. It costed me 29 euros with delivery. I was the one who got the last bottle of it, 5 liters of this ELF oil. 5W40. It's correct oil. It's a good fully synthetic oil. There's nothing wrong with it. It's better than other oils. Recommended change 15,000 kilometers or 10,000 miles. Put one above most of the oils that cost even 50% or even 100% more than this oil, with exception to what is as this claim right there, MUN oil, this one here. And it's something I did not realize, I didn't pay attention to, right? I wanted to have a good brand, a good name, and that's exactly what ELF is. It's reliable, it's good. I wanted to have something that nobody can say it's no good, satisfy more than minimum criteria. I wanted to go to the upper end and seal the deal with a good, it's called MUN filter. This is this company here. They do not only filters, they have all kinds of stuff. But it was my combination that I would do this. But you know what? This was too fucked up for me. Today, again, we had this kind of conversations. You know something? This is not about the gaslighting anymore. This is about the verbal violence. And this shit has been going on since from forever. I have stuff like this recorded on every step of the way, on million times. Today again was the last time I did go out to mechanics. I met some mechanics that actually mechanics people who sell the parts, who sell this kind of oil and filters and stuff like this to get to view out of the box to see a little bit what's going on. Met a mechanic at Manoa Oil, at Motor Oil Company here in the Novo Mesto City, who got the job in 2006. That boy got a job in 2006. So I know for a fact that this stuff went on for a very long time, because about 2 years earlier it all started. 3 years even earlier, in 2003, 2004, with the Charles. I don't know, maybe this Mono Oil that they came up with, maybe far did not exist by then. I did not research that kind of stuff. But this is how you prove somebody is a schizophrenic, because he says, oh well, you know, this oil we discussed, this is going to be... No, we discussed investments, we discussed reopening the old company, improve one, invest new technology in one, jumpstart the production so that people would have this kind of quality also in Eastern Europe for way less. But when this product was launched out in Lithuania, right, I said, I have no fucking clue. And it doesn't matter. I am that kind of person coming from that kind of world where people wear this kind of watch already in 2006, 2007. When Prince Charles tested a cheap Chinese shoes I found on the internet long time ago, before they came anywhere in the internet, you know, suggested me that this is what I'm going to be, that I have to pay attention, that I'm going to be buying the shoes for 10 euros. That was so not really my habit. I would even go give 100 euros for Nike, which is really a little bit too much, a little bit crazy. That was so not me, but it goes to show just how much this individual planned genocide. Complete genocide based on a total deprivation, financial, total choke. British shit, more than anyone. German, Brito-German shit is what it is. Americans didn't stop this crap. This is entirely made in Britain, entirely made by Germany shit. The stuff that happened to me. This crime is completely German, British crime is what this is. I am inside of the European Union. I'm not inside of the Russia. I'm Slovenian citizen, and I had American citizenship destroyed by the British royals. Literally. Scum did go to United States and lobbied to get my citizenship destroyed. Placed me on a permanent unemployment. They did everything possible they could since day one as I arrived to the United States to do everything they possibly could to return me here, to destroy me at whatever costs. It's a sad story. It's not a good story. But, well, this is the way it played out, this stuff. No gaslighting anymore. This is a verbal violence. It all ended with my mother, who treated me like an animal during MK Ultra. She developed the habit to treat me like a shit, suggesting in front of me to meet a mechanic after giving me a lesson, yelling, screaming at me, something that had nothing to do with me, but is going to take place in the future, this is about MK Ultra, to go ahead and change the oil. What I did not finish earlier was stating the elites only, royals, prime ministers, presidents, ministers, people whom they entrusted the projects, whatever projects, were allowed to test the items, the projects. I talked to you about the Skoda cars and stuff like this. They had them and they bring them here and they evaluated them. I talked to you about the shoes. I talked to you about all kinds of stuff that went on, including Prince Charles. That I mentioned that he was testing a low value item for $10 that is selling on AliExpress, whatever, 11. He didn't have that shit. He tested a few times. Just few times he had that on his feet. But he did have it on his feet anyhow, right? Why would they do this kind of stuff? Because they always test. Before they release something, they always test. And when they test products in this case, they don't have a capacity to release the products. You're talking about the companies that would manufacture products, in many cases even over 10 years before they would release them. And before they would release them, of course, they would partner with other companies, so they would release a lot of products, and this is how AliExpress came to life. Finally, this is how Temu came to life. Yes, I know absolutely everything when it comes to how they did these operations. I saw it with my own eyes how they did it, how they did this stuff. So that's how you get on the picture of all this stuff. That's where it comes from. Let's go to this kind of conversation. Like I said, a brand new oil, a brand new filter, according to MK Ultra, placed inside the father's car. Good oil, good filter. Me being yelled, screamed at. According to my mother and according to this mechanic media, they would not allow me to have engine oil. Not even month two would not last. As soon as the oil would go inside, the oil would go out, because take that shit out. This is the way it was. Here, this is the oil I have purchased, and this is the oil I already have canceled today. It is waiting for me here in the Novo Mesto city. There you go. You have one right here. That's it. There is a package right there. All you gotta do is insert a code in it, and you can pick it up at the machine where you pick up the delivered from Ljubljana, everything, and off we go. Basically, this is the way it is. This is the way it is. Here is the audio, and I'm gonna have this audio translated for you, so that you get to understand. I wasted a lot of time with the hope that I will find the suitable, for financial costs acceptable oil filter. I even promised my father during MK who told me, and if you will ever put this oil inside, this goes to Nurse Yanko issues. It goes all the way to 2003. It must be horrific for my father. I started to understand my father that he was in not easy situation. Being around a scum like this truly never is easy. Imagine that somebody tells you that you're gonna have to go to die over there at home for elderly people, might never get out alive, most likely you will be dead, while your son will be butchering your car basically with some garbage oil. Learn on your car how to change the filters and stuff like this. That was Nurse Yanko, psychiatrist cops, and the so-called police from the Novo Mesto that would start doing that kind of stuff to me. In 2002, 2003, they were all over me about what kind of oil are you going to choose. So excuse me, it was not in 2004, it started in 2002. Little by little, as I coordinate people and events, and it takes me to the right direction, the right timing. Now let's see how it all ended today, when everything is ready and dandy for me to go and finish this stuff and literally collect the oil, literally take care of this issue. Let's see how it all ended, this stuff for me. Mama comes in the morning, and this is what went on. I tell my mom, today, Mom, I'm gonna take you to the Father. I'm not using the car anymore, but I told her today I'm gonna take you to the Father, and it's because I'm gonna go to pick up the oil. The oil finally arrived to Novo Mesto, and I'm gonna do the full service, oil service on the car. You are not going to be driving me anywhere, and you are also not going to be replacing, you're not going to be changing oil. I already told you that. Oh yes, she did. We have big arguments since December the 4th, even earlier, because of this shit.
Okay, dobra.
I tell her, okay, that's fine. I say, you don't want me to take you then? Mother came all beaten up, coughing and stuff like this. It seemed to be like she got another round of COVID or cold or whatever. I myself don't feel good, but I go walking because I have to exercise. That's the only way for me to stay alive. Literally, when you have a problem with kidneys, kidney disease, you do have to walk, or you can truly kiss your ass goodbye and die. She doesn't answer when I ask her whether she wants me to take her, drive her to the Father. So I said, so Mom, I said, so therefore you do not allow me to replace the oil that I got. You don't allow me, therefore, to replace one. And she says, no. I said, you don't allow me to. I told her, my mom says, we already had an agreement from the beginning. And I said, no, I said, Mom, I have an oil at home already. How many times did I told you, Mom says, how many times I told you that you are not going to be changing the oil? I told her, Mom, we have to replace the oil. You have to be changed. You're not going to be changing the oil. No matter what, you're not going to be changing the oil. You will not. That's the end of it.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not going to be changing the oil and that's it. And she says, yes. I said, why wouldn't I be replacing the oil? Why wouldn't I be changing the oil, Mom? She says, how are you going to empty? Yeah, where are you going to put, basically she's asking me where are you going to put the car. And I explained her what went on in 95, 96 with the Milan Kuchan, with Robert Golop, when they literally investigated with the nurse Yanko, with the psychiatrist cops. They made us a home, investigated where also the oil could be changed, where also the engine oil could be changed. And they realized that if the car is parked with the nose out of the garage, but with the car still inside of the garage, this first garage basically is where the father's car is. And so they figure out if the car is facing front out of the garage, the difference, if you place something underneath also, you can just lay under the car and have the oil change. And I figured out exactly the same thing. They evaluated it and it worked. And that's what I'm trying to say to mom. But mom is like a dynamite. She is yelling and fucking screaming, making faces and so on. Like I'm, of course, mentally ill. And I want to make her a point about Milan Kuchen, about Robert Golub, about the garbage that were here, and they were examining all that stuff. I said, where father's garage is, mom?
Обърна се ауто вън. Тако ко са ти показало все. Ушите люди ко са били тук и ко са ти говорили, показали те ствари и все.
Имаш тука отпаде ауто, па меняй.
She goes totally fucking crazy. She says, you have your car, your Citroën. You have your Citroën. That's what it is when she says you have the car below and change whatever you want. She's cursing a little bit. A little bit time get passed again. She's not interested, obviously, in having a engine oil replaced.
Se pravi, tudi zdaj, ko sem dobil olje, mami ne dovoliš, da ga zamenjam.
Jaz ti nisem rekel, da konje narač.
Ne, seveda mi nisi rekla, ampak to je nerealistično olje ne zamenjati.
So I tell her again, Mom, so even now when you already I have the oil with me. I already got the oil. So even now you don't allow me to change the oil. And mother says something very, 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 very important that I am not going to go and fuck with. I didn't say to change the oil. I'm not the one who said to change the oil. You understand that shit. I told her, Mom, it's not realistic not to change the oil. I mean, yes, if you want the engine to run, every car needs the oil change.
Mami.
You have your Citroën and go and pour the oil into your Citroën, basically, what she's saying.
Dol imam pa ga nali noter.
Ja.
Kam če ga pa nalit dol,
V
mami?
tvojo limuzino.
It's your limousine. She says, it's a limousine you have.
V mojo limuzino?
Ja.
I said, in my limousine? Really?
Ja, mami, ampak zavarovanje plačam za očetovo limuzino in vse skupaj.
I told her, yes, mommy, but the insurance is paid for the father's car, not for mine. Yeah, you cannot drive the car without insurance, right?
Ti ne razumeš.
Česar,
Ja,
vse, kar je, plačujem jaz.
You are not paying anything, my mom says. Everything that needs to be paid comes out of my pocket.
tako. In Mi ne dovoliš, da bi zamenjal olje noter v avtomobilu s tem, da je že kupljeno?
I said, that's right. I said, yes, you do. I said, and you don't want me to change the oil in the car with one already is purchased? And she says, no. I don't trust you. It's because I don't trust you. No.
A, zaradi tega, ker mi ne zaupaš. A, okej. O, tu ni tako hudost.
Okay, so this is when I'm gonna end translation of the video because it's too stupid. She says to me, this is a grass cutting machine. You don't even know how to change the oil on a grass cutting machine, and you want to change one on the car. So I am not going to continue from here anymore. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play you, if you're Slovenian, I'm going to play you this in Slovenian language one more time. The audio, the whole audio, I'm going to let that through. I told you about that stuff, that she went a little bit too far with it. I didn't say for you and this and that kind of stuff is too much for me. And because according to MK Ultra, this is the way it ended. Police, in fact, was looking forward to create problems for me, as many as possible. Also, through this kind of issue, on one end they insisted that car is going to fall apart, on that you're not supposed to drive one, you're going to be responsible. On the other hand, they were using mom literally demanding from me to purchase the oil, do the oil change, etc., etc. On the other hand, they were warning me about other issues as well involving it. So, you know, this doesn't go like this. I told my mom, finally I told my mom, I said, something, my father was just like you are right now, I told her, I told her, if you think about it, just in respect to the soil, I told her, he behaved just like you are, and you're not irrational. He behaved just like you, and you can see where he ended up. And I explained her. I told her, he also was so dismissive with me. He also rated me as, can't even change the oil. Even I was changing the oil in my cars. And I told her, you can see where he ended, how he ended. I told her, you're going to end like this too. I told her, you're going to end like this too. You're going to go exactly where he went through his trail. That's where you're going to go too. That's where you're going to go too. And I explained her further. It's all evident from the audio recording. I told her, these people, your friends, this police, this Kuchan and all this, they always look for anything. It wasn't only me, it was other people. It was mom and it was father. They were looking to find anything wrong with anybody, and they were using those kind of issues they always do, literally to kill people. They always turn them into a real tragedies, is what I explained her. And the stuff, the way you treat me, I told her, don't worry about it. I told mom, they are looking your every fucking step you make. And you, exactly what the way father was, you're exactly in his steps. You're going to end up in exactly the way he ended up. Your friends, I explained her, your friends are not, that's how they operate. That's basically exactly how they work. And they're to help. They're to kill, literally, to damage, to hurt, to cause harm. And if you don't understand that stuff, what's happening, because she thinks in her ideals, in her head, she is walking, and therefore she doesn't need me. She is walking, and therefore she's independent, and she doesn't need me because I'm the one who needs her. This is what she's projecting to the life. That I'm no good to the people is what I'm trying to say. That I'm no good, that I'm not doing my stuff. Well, I decided I'm just gonna put my mama to the internet so that this stuff can be seen. I had enough. It was the same thing with absolutely everything. With the cutting the grass issues, with any kind of work issues, always was the same shit. So this stuff has to go to internet because it doesn't work like this. She started to talk to me something about my father, how I was lifting the sofa when the father sleep at home. This is how they threw me into the psychiatric hospital. And you know, I asked Mom, this is all in continuation, you know. She said that she actually is using a word that have almost or have fallen from the bed, sofa, and I really wanted to learn about that stuff, how he had fallen from the sofa or almost have fallen from the sofa, and ask her about if he had fallen from the sofa. I wanted to learn about what happened exactly, how dangerous it was for him, how he had fallen. You know, I wanted to know whether he had fallen, whether he had hurt himself or whatever. And she admits that he did not hurt himself. She admits, in fact, that he did not, that nothing happened to him. That's all there is to this video. I am going to play you audio one more time. And that's basically all there is to it. I don't have anything else to say. Mom does not allow for the oil to be replaced. Police counted with gaslighting. She's doing a fucking gaslighting every day. Already not allowed it. The shoes that I chose for her at the Kulandia at the store, which she, psychiatrist Peter Kapsch, and his wife together shopped around in the same store, in this German store Deichmann, which I selected, were no good. They're heavy, they're shit. I really, it's hard to satisfy her, very hard to communicate her in any way. I'm guilty for absolutely everything. I broke the whole house. Still, I am not going to touch the car till the oil is going to be replaced. And you can see what kind of shit this individual, this Mitya, did with this car, together with police, what this shit was all about. Let me know, folks, if you think they did go too far or they did not. Father is not too close here. Sometimes it's necessary to use the car to go see him. I told Mother also, you're going to hear this on the audio recording, you're paying a double insurance rate, 250 euros instead of 120 more, for completely unfunded, unnecessary reasons, yet you are throwing the money away, and you don't have it for the oil change. Well, Mitya charged her 60 euros for the oil change, and I could have done it myself for just 40, together with the filter and oil change, basically charging nothing for the work, just get the shit done so the car can be in use. I told her I don't see what is the point paying for insurance, costs all this without using the car. What is the idea about this shit? I mean, it's not driving me insane only, but what the fuck is this? I mean, you want to have the car in the garage and pay the insurance, registration, everything for the car, so they can be inside of the garage without even having the capacity to use one if you want to use one? What's the idea about this anyways? Other than to drive somebody insane. Extremely disappointed about the Germans. Wolfsburg for sure is not gonna see me. That's one thing is certain. Audi also is not gonna see me. Nor will the BMW and nor will Mercedes. That's a damn sure thing now, I can tell you. And that's exactly, I think, what they wanted. It wasn't that something like this was happening in the early stages. I was taken to the Germany to see how basically they're gonna fuck me in the later stages. Frau Merkel made sure that that would happen sometimes in 2017, 2016, when they presented me with this investigation about the oil and this and that. There was much more stuff that went on, but I don't have a time to waste more time on this issue because there's so many issues. The same shit went also with the glasses, with absolutely everything. With absolutely everything. With British Germans minding me on every step of the way, causing me problems as much as they possibly could. Really, Germans, they're never gonna turn against any government, against any country, if they only have a capacity, ability to work with them. They don't give a three fuck about what is inside of the country, what's going on. What they care about is one thing, and that's basically having a strong diplomatic ties, and it doesn't even matter for how long they last. What matters is that they always stay quiet in the shadow, and that's probably for the evident reasons. The European Union is such a union that you, as a European Union citizen, wherever you are, in whatever country you are, you don't have the right to apply in another European Union country. So you can imagine what kind of union the fuck this is. Thanks for watching this video. Till next time.